Let's go to somebody who is very, very closely involved in the operations on 26/11, and that is former NSG chief K Dutt. He joins us live from New Delhi. Thanks very much indeed, sir, for joining us. Now, of course, just important to recap for our viewers that by the time the NSG moved into place, Kasab and his partner, the area that they were targeting, which was the CST and the Kama hospital, they'd already carried out their mayhem there, and Kasab had been arrested or captured by the Mumbai police, and his partner Abu Ismail was killed by them. So in that sense, the NSG was not directly involved as far as it came to the two of them. But overall, what would you say about today's news? What are your first thoughts and reactions to it?
The first thing which I would like to mention over here is that the NSG had reached Mumbai after the request had come from the authorities there to the central government to send the NSG. And only after that, the NSG had reached Mumbai and started the operation. Now, on hearing the news this morning about Kasab having been hung, of course, it really came as a breaking news, because there was absolutely no inkling of this being done in Pune Yerawada jail this morning. But when the news came through, I felt that all the 10 terrorists who were involved in the incident had been accounted for, but there was still some distance to cover, because there were other conspirators behind this incident sitting elsewhere, and for full justice to be done, I think those people also need to be brought to account.
Right.
The other is that what I have been asked often is, the persons who lost their near and dear ones, is this justice for them? Well, in a way it can be justice, but we must remember that those who lost their near and dear ones, for them that incident will ever remain with them as long as they are alive. And that is something which we should never forget. There are lessons which have been learned from this incident, and we should try to work upon our strengths and remove our deficiencies.
Right. In fact, we were speaking also to the father of Major Unni Krishnan, who was one of your men who was killed in the operation at the Taj. But I just wanted to pick up on the point about lessons learned, because while now sufficient time has elapsed, I remember you, amongst others, were somewhat critical of the manner in which information was shared and the overall big picture about what exactly was happening with the terrorists. And there were also some questions raised about the impunity with which somebody like Kasab and his partner actually moved through Mumbai that night, moving from CST, walking all the way across to Kama hospital, being able to kill and wound a number of people there, and then actually come out, and then they managed to seize a police vehicle and drive off. So for a considerable period of time, they could roam freely, and I remember so many questions being raised at that time about how they could do that, and whether or not we've learned any lessons from that.
Well, I think in what you have just said, a lot of points have been included, and I will try to take them one by one. See, where the NSG is concerned and its efficiency is concerned, or the time it took to reach there, as I mentioned, it was only when the state government of Maharashtra asked for the NSG to be sent to Mumbai that the central government gave us the clearance.
Yes.
And we were ready with the plane, and we managed to reach there. The other thing is about the preparation or readiness of Maharashtra police to deal with the incident. It seems that, as we had seen at that time, it was being looked upon as a gang war. But soon it was realized that this was not a gang war. And the weakness which came out over here was that it is the day-to-day police force which had to deal with an incident of this nature, which required a specialized attention. One of the things that emerged was that a lot of training is given to state police personnel by NSG and other specialized agencies.
Yes.
And unless these men are kept together as a unit and not dispersed to different parts of the state, their effectiveness is completely lost.
Yes.
Another weakness which came out, or a lesson which we learned, I think, was that we cannot compromise on the gadgets which our security forces use. they must be equipped with the latest and up-to-date equipment. In fact, things are changing so fast that every 3 to 6 months, there is something new in the market. And in the interest of the security of our people and country, I don't think we should hesitate to procure those on a fast track.
In fact, Mr. Dutt, after that...
You were saying something?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, in fact, after that, as you're probably aware, the Maharashtra government spent a lot of money acquiring high-grade weaponry for its security forces. They also created quick response teams, which they equipped with this machinery and training. And today, if you go around all those parts of Mumbai, you'll actually see those high security bunkers as well as those vehicles which are sort of armored vehicles in position at those locations. But I also wanted to ask you about the NSG and the government's decision to set up these different hubs across the country in the aftermath of what had happened, because as you said, no police force is prepared for a commando style attack of the kind carried out by Kasab and his colleagues. Do you believe that that process is moving swiftly, effectively? Because there are questions about whether they've managed to create those decentralized NSG hubs and whether they're actually going to be able to be operational.
Yes, you see, the NSG hubs, my view is that the NSG hubs in our country are essential. There have been instances cited where it is said that countries in Europe have a very small commando force or a specialized force to deal with such incidents. But we must remember that India is a very large country, and it is, so far we had been saying that the NSG should be able to reach any place where a crisis occurs within 2 hours. In fact, I would say that with the passage of time, we should now be saying that the NSG should be able to reach a place within an hour. Why should it take 2 hours? We have to increase our mobility. We should be able to reach a place fast. And it is because of this is one of the reasons why these hubs were set up. Yeah. The other is that, as you are aware, that Delhi becomes fog bound in the months of December and January, and if an incident occurs in any part of the country, it may not be possible for the NSG to move out that easily. Now, if we have hubs in different parts of the country, not only do we cut down on the time of travel, but we also have a force which is able to respond much faster. Right. Yes, some of the states, including Maharashtra, have formed their own force, but this is not something which can be called a special force. They may be trained like commandos, but there are a lot of things which go into making a force. I'll give you an example. NSG is a completely 100% deputationist force. So they are able to maintain age grouping. And that is the time when we have the commandos at their best. Now, these are little things which need to be taken care of
to make sure
if we want to have a...
Right, to ensure that we have the response
are able
that we
to
need.
take quick...
Yeah. Sir, can I just ask you,
yes.
Can I just ask you then in conclusion that do you believe that, God forbid, if today we were to experience similar Kasab or commando style attacks, are we better prepared?
I think whenever a special force is formed, first it does need experience to be able to identify its shortcomings and act fast on them. I think the Mumbai incident that way was a big a lesson for all of us, and I think the special forces or any police force which is formed will have taken lessons from it, and they will definitely try to ensure that there is an efficient and quick response in every part of their unit.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.